Hi, I'm Mr. eTutor, your mystery tutor here at mysterytutor.com, and welcome to video module 8-2. In this module, I'd like to discuss one of the most important things about getting ready for the SAT, and that is going over your incorrect answers. A lot of students try to get ready for the SAT simply by taking one practice test after another, without ever going over the mistakes that they've made in their earlier tests. This is a huge mistake and a huge waste of time. There's no real need to take one practice test after another because, as we've seen repeatedly throughout our video series on the individual question types, each test is basically the same as every other test. If you take one test and then turn around and take another test the next day without reviewing your mistakes, you'll probably get exactly the same performance. This stands to reason if you stop to reflect that both of the tests are designed to test exactly the same thing, and you've done nothing between the two tests to help improve your score. So, one of the key things that separates high-scoring test takers from low-scoring test takers is the amount of attention they give to the questions that they miss when they take their practice tests. In fact, I would argue that for many students, it should take at least twice as long to review the incorrect answers as it did to take the test in the first place. When you review the incorrect answers, you don't just want to look at the questions and say, oh yeah, wait, okay, yeah, that should have been this. That's not the right way to go about it. You need to try and understand why each question that you miss actually fits into the standards and things that we've been discussing in these video series. You really need to come to understand that every single question, no matter how much it might seem like it doesn't, actually fits with all of these standards. You need to understand that the test is standardized, that every single question does the same thing as every other question, over and over and over again. The only way to come to understand this is to spend some time contemplating the questions that you've missed. When you look at questions that you've missed, you have a couple of goals. First of all, of course, you want to understand what the right answer is and why that answer is correct. That's obvious. But you also want to understand what answer you chose and why you were wrong to choose it. You need to understand the mistake you made so you can do everything in your power never to make that mistake again. Finally, and most importantly, you need to do the one thing that's proven most to raise your scores. You need to get to a point where you can understand and predict the wrong answer choices that are likely to appear for a particular question. In other words, if it's a math question, for example, you need to be able to read the question, figure out what the correct answer is, explain to yourself why all of the incorrect answers are present, and predict what other types of incorrect answers might be appearing. If you can do all of these things, you know that you understand the SAT. Once you understand the SAT, you'll find every question becomes about as easy as every other question. That's where you want to get. That is true mastery of the SAT. That's where